Welcome back, everybody. I hope you guys are having a fantastic day today. And today we're going to be talking about the Sith Cultists. If you guys want to see more Star Wars and nerd-related content in the future, definitely hit that subscribe button. So how powerful were the Sith Cultists in Rise of Skywalker? How were they able to resurrect Emperor Palpatine, create Snoke, and amass an entire fleet of Star Destroyers equipped with planet-killing weapons? Now, in the Rise of Skywalker Visual Dictionary, it explains that the Sith Eternal used a mixture of technology and Sith Magic in order to keep Palpatine alive for decades. But I would still like to know, is it his original body? And how the hell is it if it wasn't destroyed after being thrown down a reactor shaft and then surviving a massive explosion of the Death Star? Now, it was probably a clone, but nonetheless, if the cultists weren't present in the galaxy, Palps would be dead. The early Sith Cultists attempted to excavate the fissures on Exegol to reach the Vergence in the Force beneath the planet's surface. A Vergence was a concentration of the Force centered around a person or a thing, like Anakin Skywalker or the Jedi Temples. This leads me to believe the power behind the Sith Eternal is from the mass quantities of Force energy radiating from the planet itself. By the time of the New Republic, most of the Cultists were not believed to be Force sensitive. But then how were they able to use Sith Magic and perform various dark side rituals? We will have to turn to legends for a possible answer. During the time of the Great Hyperspace Wars, around 5,000 years before the Rise of Skywalker, Sith Magic, also known as Sith Sorcery, was only accessible to those who were Force sensitive and possessed an intrinsic relationship with the dark side. Their powers allowed them to channel raw power to warp minds, alter the environment, and obliterate any obstacles that stood in their way. After the fall of the Galactic Empire, members of Tavian's Sith cult were empowered with the dark side by the Scepter of Ragnos. Some members of the cult were Force users who would not carry weapons, using only the power of the Force, such as Force Lightning and Force Grip in battle. Most were trained in the basics of lightsaber combat and the dark side abilities, although they generally would lack the skill and discipline needed to defeat an average Jedi. They were essentially pawns, used to slow down and distract the Jedi. Tavian and her cultists would try and resurrect the ancient Sith god Marka Ragnos using his scepter, but eventually would be stopped. So in Legends there are two types of Sith cultists: those who possess the immense power of the dark side, and those who are given the powers of the Force and can barely use it. Since the Sith Eternal were not Force sensitive from what we know, we can infer they were given the power of the Force by consuming the energy of the planet. But they could not use it at a high level, just like Tavian's Sith cultists. Sith magic is complex and requires training and knowledge of the Force in order to perform. Anyone can study the Force and its powers, even if they're not able to use it. Now, I would imagine there are different ranks in the Sith Eternal, such as priests who could read the ancient Sith scrolls and texts, learning their different abilities the dark side offers. We have to remember that they are on Exegol, the hidden world of the Sith. They most likely had access to many holocrons, as well as Lord Sidious himself to learn from. The Sith priestess from Korriban combined science and magic to create spells, incantations, and rituals, going as far as using Necromancy to resurrect the spirit of Frida Nod. Could the priests have learned the power of Necromancy to resurrect Palpatine, allowing him to attach his soul to a clone body of himself? There were at least 1,000 cultists on Exegol from what we could see, possibly even more. Could they have combined their powers in order to perform rituals to bring Snoke to life? It also doesn't make sense then as to how thousands, or more than that, just died without any struggle. If they could use the Force, they could have easily shielded themselves and got away. The jumbled mess Disney has left us to fix. Gotta love it, guys. But we do have no concrete evidence or answers to any of these questions. We just don't know enough about the cultists themselves or the ranks within the Sith Eternal to truly understand their powers. From what we already know, they are very powerful, being able to resurrect the Dark Lord, or at least keep him alive, amass an entire fleet of Star Destroyers, and create who or whatever Snoke is. Those are not easy tasks to accomplish, and without the help of another Sith Lord, it would be impossible for a non-Force user to pull it off. If all of the Sith cultists truly do not have the capability to use the Force, then there's an even bigger mystery that is yet to be uncovered. Could Exegol possibly be a new starforge? Is that how they were able to create so many ships? But if it was, they would need the power of the dark side, which would make sense if at least a few of the cultists were dark side users. Now, I know they have Palpatine, but he's kind of decrepit at this point, and they might need more power than he has. We never know. But hell, if they can't even explain the Knights of Ren, I doubt they were ever really explain this. I guess we'll just have to theorize about it until they write a comic about them. But are the Sith truly gone? Or are they just hiding somewhere else? I can't imagine this is a game of cat and mouse between the Resistance, Sith, and First Order, because if there was a Sith army, they would wipe out anything standing in its way. But nothing adds up right now. We know Palpatine was immensely powerful, but how was someone able to defeat him so easily? There's something we're missing. Is there a bigger threat to the galaxy than Sidious? Was he just another puppet like Snoke was? Is an ancient Dark Lord of the Sith still wandering around the galaxy, controlling whatever he wants with the help of his cultists? Possibly Emperor Valkorion. There are many parts of the galaxy yet to be explored, but the odds of this storyline ever being continued are practically zero. We might see it in books and comics, but never back on the big screen. Palpatine and the Sith Eternal are dead. Rey will rebuild the Jedi, and hopefully we will get the storyline that Legends gave us, but I will be covering that in a separate video. I don't know, guys, the Sith Cultists just really don't add up to me with the new information we've got in the visual dictionary. They're able to use Sith magic and perform dark rituals, but they aren't force sensitive. Disney has some explaining to do about a lot of stuff, and just add this to the list. So let me know what you guys think. Do you think they are force sensitive or not? How did they do all the things I talked about without being force sensitive? I would love for them to be force sensitive and to get more explanation on Sith magic and dark rituals. If they gave us more of a fantasy era of Star Wars like 30,000 years ago with Sith sorcery, I would be ecstatic. That would be really, really cool to see. So just let me know your thoughts down below, guys, and if you did enjoy this video, if you could hit that thumbs up button for me, as it helps spread the channel out to other people that can hopefully enjoy it. And hit that subscribe button if you guys want to see more Star Wars and related content in the future. I will be doing some more theory videos on maybe the starforge thing. I think that'd be really cool to do. So if you guys want to see that, stay tuned for that. Hope you guys are having a fantastic day today. I will see you guys in the next video. Have a great rest of your night.